And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out.
In Florida, man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots.
Oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then...
Kind of like the Tyson thing again, though, right? Like when
it reminded me of that, but it also reminded me of, like, oh, in barbershops across the world, people, or at least the country, people will talk about this and be like, oh, Tank's going to kill him because he will not get hit.
The boxing world is in shock as Gervonta Davis looks absolutely unstoppable ahead of his clash with Jake Paul. Recent training clips reveal him smashing the heavy bag with explosive power, razor-sharp accuracy, and unmatched intensity. Every punch and movement shows his focus and hunger, proving he's in peak condition and ready to dominate, leaving fans and experts amazed by his form and determination. Analysts believe Gervonta "Tank" Davis has a strong chance to beat Jake Paul, but only if he fights with intelligence and discipline. They stress that Tank shouldn't rush for an early knockout. Instead, he must rely on sharp movement, precise timing, and complete ring control. His real brilliance shines when he stays patient, reads his opponent's rhythm, and strikes with calculated precision. Experts say that if Davis focuses on sticking, moving, and countering smartly, Jake Paul won't be able to match his speed or accuracy. While Tank is known as one of the most explosive punchers in boxing, it's his elite defense, counterpunching, and footwork that make him truly dangerous, skills that Jake simply hasn't faced before.
Will speed and his ability make up for that size difference, in your honest opinion?
Well, he has to be very smart throughout the course of the fight. It's hard to know in some things. I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart. I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab. Jake's fighting one of the best boxers ever.
Experts warn that Jake Paul is about to face a brutal wake-up call when he steps into the ring with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. They argue that Tank's experience, blistering speed, and elite fight IQ are far beyond anything Jake has ever dealt with. Unlike Jake's past opponents, Davis combines explosive timing with surgical precision, making him lethal with every punch. Analysts predict that once Tank lands clean, the power difference will be devastating. Jake's defense is still raw and largely untested, while Tank's ring intelligence allows him to read, react, and punish mistakes instantly. Many see a knockout as almost guaranteed, believing Jake simply won't have the endurance or defensive instincts to withstand Tank's calculated assault.
Tank Davis look crazy, bro. Chilaquiles. Gervonta "Tank" Davis hitting a heavy bag in preparation for his Jake Paul fight November 14th down there in Florida. Man looks absolutely amazing. Man looks like a monster. Man looks like precision. Jake Paul cannot take those body shots. You mean to tell me somebody who done fought UFC fighters and a man with Parkinson's disease can take a body punch from Gervonta "Tank" Davis, and y'all basing y'all logic just because Jake Paul is big? No, Tank's going to go ahead and put this man to sleep. Telling y'all that right now. If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice. Tank fans, y'all trying to give him a pass. If y'all said Tank is as skilled as y'all say he is, he does not put Jake Paul to sleep and stop Jake Paul, his boxing career is absolutely voided. He already don't care about legacy. And just imagine he don't knock out Jake Paul, and now y'all want to say it's not a real fight, it's an exhibition. No, we not giving no passes, bro. This Gervonta Tank Davis, he needs to put Jake Paul to sleep. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, Jake Paul too big. No, Jake Paul chin ain't never been tested by somebody that hit as hard as Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank should put this man to sleep with ease. I'll say that respectfully. If you don't put him to sleep,
A 2-pack of ass. That shit stinks.
that's a 2-pack of ass at the highest level. And it's a musty energy at the highest level. Get it together. Get it together. Tank looks amazing. That's the Chilla Killer.
Chilla killers. Chilla killers.
The issue of weight has become one of the most heated debates surrounding the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul showdown. Many argue that Jake's size advantage is too massive to overlook, while others believe Tank's refined skills and ring IQ will completely erase that gap. Fans and analysts remain split, with some questioning whether the fight should even happen given Jake's naturally larger frame. However, Tank supporters stand firm, insisting that his lightning speed, discipline, and precision make him dangerous against any opponent, big or small. They emphasize that boxing is about timing, control, and angles, not just muscle and mass. In the end, many experts agree that Jake's limited fundamentals can't match Tank's superior technique, which will nullify any physical edge Jake brings.
It is happening. The WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pound cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional records.
Michael Bisping praises Gervonta Tank Davis for his incredible power, skill, and adaptability, but cautions that size should never be completely dismissed. He acknowledges Tank's ability to handle bigger opponents, yet reminds fans that physical differences always play a role. Bisping believes Tank's superior fight IQ and movement can outclass Jake Paul, but the weight gap could challenge his endurance and ability to absorb heavier punches. Despite that concern, he admires Tank's heart and confidence, saying that if anyone can neutralize such a disadvantage, it's him. Bisping concludes that while size matters, Davis's technical mastery and flawless execution could still be enough to overcome Jake's physical edge.
Out there taking on Mike Tyson, that's pushing 60 years old for crying out loud, but at the same time pretending to be like this badass motherfucker, sending me DMs talking. He offered me a contract a long time ago, and I was like, what are you doing? I'm a retired fighter, and I've got one eye. Why would I want to fight you? I wouldn't lower myself to doing that. I know a lot of people do that. They do lower themselves, if you want to say that, because of the payday. Because Jake Paul is a big name. He is a social media sensation. He's a YouTube star. Now, of course, in the world of boxing, he's one of boxing's biggest stars. He puts on these spectacles like Paul versus Tyson, like Nate Diaz, because these are the fighters, these are the names that attract the eyes. Jake Paul is the B-side to almost every single one of his fights. When he fought Nate Diaz, people were tuning in for Nate Diaz. His last fight against Cesar Chavez Jr., apparently no one watched that fight. Apparently the pay-per-views were ridiculously low. So this one's going back to Netflix on November 14th, and it's an exhibition bout. Of course, it's an exhibition bout because no athletic commission in their right mind will sanction this fight. There's just no way you can make this a legitimate fight because of the size advantage. Typically, this would be very, very dangerous, and someone could get really hurt. If Jake Paul was to swing as hard as he could and connect and wobble him, hit him many, many times and not knock him out, the bigger gloves and the concussion possibilities and the brain rattling around inside the head, Jake Paul just teeing off at him as hard as he could. It's dangerous. That's why fights like this can't get sanctioned. That's why this is a exhibition bout, not a real matchup. Now listen, they're both going to get paid tremendously. They're going to make a ton of money, and a lot of people are going to tune in and watch it on Netflix. Fair play.
Eddie Chambers warns that underestimating Gervonta "Tank" Davis would be a huge mistake. While he admits Jake Paul holds a physical advantage, Chambers insists that Tank's skill, power, and ring IQ make him one of the most dangerous fighters alive. Davis's sharp reflexes, explosive combinations, and precise timing can break down any bigger opponent who lacks true defense. Chambers emphasizes that Jake will struggle to handle Tank's speed and precision once the fight begins. In the end, size won't save Jake when facing a fighter as technical, composed, and ruthless as Davis. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more boxing updates and knockout analysis.